Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Grand Prix Series. Conrad Venter and Alex Simpson here for what is round 1 of Season 3, 2016. Conrad, it seems just like yesterday we wrapped up Season 2. And here we are back for a start of Season 3 at what is a very glorious Imola circuit.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Like you said, it wasn't that long ago since we finished season 2, and we're back again, and with a brand new track on iRacing and a new time of day setting as well.
Yeah, late afternoon. Seems like they've started to do that a little bit more in the sim now as well. And so sun is starting to set, which means track conditions are quite cool out there at the moment. Conrad, could you just let us know what the weather's saying at the moment?
Yeah, it's 26 degrees centigrade, but the track temperature is slightly higher, 28 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, so very cool. So, based on the fact that nothing's really changed with the tyre, as far as we know, across last season to this season, nice cool track. I'm guessing we're going to see a bunch of no-stoppers today.
Yeah, this is obviously something we haven't seen on any of the official races before, with the track and the weather setting and stuff like that. So it is a bit of an unknown. You never know, we might see one or two people jump into the pits just to give it a go, especially if they're a little bit further back and they want to try something. But it's going to be very interesting indeed.
Right, so just having a quick look where we are. Obviously, we are on a bit late today, so due to the real life Grand Prix that was up a bit earlier on, from the rest of the season where we don't conflict with the real race, we shall still continue with the 12 GMT race. So if you're thinking you can't do this time slot moving forward, those of you that are sort of more over towards Asia and Japan and Australia and things like that and want to have a play, then you can do. We'll open up that earlier time slot once again so that you guys can at least get some sort of split race in. Of course, these ones will continue, I'm sure, as they do. Gives everybody a chance to have a shot at the championship. Conrad, Imola, lovely circuit. You done any driving on it yet?
I've done a race on it in the Leo Botno Proto GT series, and it's a very nice track to drive. It's got a nice flow to it. Overtaking is difficult, but and as I watched Andrew Lorette going through that first chicane, those sausage curves are quite lethal as well. One thing that I will say that I have noticed is, especially on the start-finish straight, just offline, sort of on the away from the pit wall on the outside of the circuit, there seems to be a lot of sort of build-up of dust and gravel, and you see that quite clearly when you're in the sim, and seeing that for the first time is quite unsettling as well. So people are going to be overtaking each other, obviously, on the main straight, and getting those tires dirty with the braking zone turn 2 really might get interesting.
Just to have a quick look. I mean, obviously I did the World Championship race yesterday. Unfortunately, I had technical issues with my PC and my shifters, so I like to tell everybody about this because it was very annoying running 2-3 seconds off the pace and not being able to do anything with it. But I tell you what, the track is great. I was really getting into a flow at the end of the week before I started to have my problems, and it was it's a great track. There's a couple of places for overtaking, and you could see that out there. Yesterday there was people with very contrasting setups out there as well. Some going for the speed, because obviously we do have some sort of point and squirt sections on it where you need all the acceleration you can get and that straight line speed. And then there's some sort of medium and high speed corners where those that are running a bit more downforce are very, very quick. So it was an interesting race, and I'd like to have been sort of with my teammates a bit further up, but alas, my problems prevented that. But I think we're going to see a good race here today.
Yeah, and I don't know what the McLaren is like around this track. So obviously, I'm complete and utter novice when it comes to the car. But in the Proto GT series, I promise you, I set the car up for one corner and one corner only, and that's turn 14 on the for that downhill braking zone, and then you've got the left-hander. And it's just because it was downhill, and you had to be so careful getting on the brakes. If you just overshot your braking mark by a little bit, you know, the car gets really unsettled if you try and still make the apex.
A few returning faces to the series. We just saw there Marcus Jensen's currently sat on provisional pole position. Worth pointing out, actually, the overlay is wrong. I need to update that because we've indeed invited Marcus and Jamie Fluke, who's also in this one. Season 1 and 2, I think they were right up there in the championship. Was it first and third or something like that in the overall standings? Or was it first and second? I can't remember now. Yeah, we offered both of those a full drive, didn't we, last season? Worked their way up through the academy system and give them platinum status, which is why you see them trundling around in the blue livery now.
Yeah, it gives a nice variety to the grid as well. Usually we see quite a few of those green liveries running around, but a couple of blue ones in there is always nice to see.
Right, we are at that point where you can take us through the grid, please, sir.
Right, pole position is taken by Marcus Jensen in his brand new Apex Racing UK livery. Second on the grid next to him is Diogo Oliveira. Third place, Kevin Ellis Jr., very good qualifying for him. With Ricardo Orozco in fourth place, Zoran Jonic in fifth, Jamie Fluke in sixth. Seventh is Fernando Guerrero. Eighth place, Justin Hopp. Razvan Sabitov in nine, joined on the fifth row with Dado Opakak. Nicholas Rasmussen in 11th. Then we've got Manuel Domingo, Marco, and Andrew Lorette in 14th. Cleaver Toffoli in 15th. Juan Rodriguez in 16th. Francesco Fioroni in 17th, Matteo Calistani in 18th, Boya Casal in 19th place, David E. Baker in 20th, and Ferenc Kern in 21st.
Worth pointing out that Kevin Ellis Jr. has joined TNT Racing as well, and there's a few other team changes out there. And if your details aren't on the overlay and you want them on there, make sure you go to our broadcast post in the McLaren forum. In the opening post, there's a link to our to where you can fill in our form that will get all your data. And PM me, let me know that you've updated it, and I will, or if you need it updating, and I'll update it, so we can have everybody's name on the overlay for the rest of the season. That'd be great. Just waiting for final cars here, are we?
It sounds like everybody's up.
Here we go then, Conrad. Season 3 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series is away. Good start from everybody. A little bit of wheel spin. Marcus got absolutely swamped at the start. He's already dropped down to third place. And that's Oliveira that's going to take the lead into turn 1. Oh, big crash as they check up further back going into that first sector. I think that was actually our leader as well. He had some problems. Yeah, pole sitter already down. Marcus Jensen out of the race. Then we're going to have a very quick look at that back just to see exactly what happened, and then we'll switch straight back to it. Do you know what? He just disconnected, didn't he? It wasn't a problem. It wasn't him that was involved in that. He just dropped his connection.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. I was just looking at him, and he seemed to get through the first chicane just fine, and then poof, gone was he. He'll be very frustrated, especially first race of the season. But there was some contact towards the back. I'll just have a little look back and see who exactly was involved in that. It was just seemed like it was just the one car. Matteo, it was just outbraking himself, and he got into the rear of Andrew Lorette. Lorette carried on. He's going to carry a bit of damage to the rear end of the car, but the only big loser there was Matteo.
Fernando and Justin Hopp having a little battle out there at the moment, just exchanging positions on the straight. Of course, DRS not open yet. That will be next lap. Zoran Jonic up into fourth place, Kevin Ellis Jr. down into fifth. So everybody just sort of finding their place out there at the moment. I'm not sure if I've got Kevin's new skin or not. Can't really tell. It doesn't look like a TNT one, but I might be mistaken. Manuel Domingo up behind Dado Wopakak. So good to see, yeah, like I say, some a mix of new drivers out there and returning ones. So Pafoli and Francisco Fioroni as well. Also, we've got Ferenc Kern. He's in there as well. We saw him quite a bit last season. Ferenc had some good pace already this week, and I think he'll be trying to move forward. Bad qualifying for him. Marco here, very tight on the tail, having a little look downhill, late on the brakes. Is he going to get this move done? No, he's not. And comes under a little bit of pressure from David Baker as well. We haven't seen David for a whole season in these races. Good to see him up there, having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I think he's one of our returning drivers from season 1, and yeah, quite a few of these guys. I think the majority of these guys were racing last season as well. But nice to see Jamie Fluke back as well. He showed himself. Was it season 1 around Suzuka? He was on for the win, and I think he lost it on the last 2 laps.
Yeah, currently sitting P3. So Diego Oliveira, we know how quick he is. Won obviously overall championship last season. No slouch at all. Had a good race yesterday, I believe. In the World Championship thing, he finished something like 14th, 13th, around there. So yeah, definitely got good pace here.
So we've got a bit of a gaggle going on, but Fioroni just lost it around the hairpin, coming out of turn 7. Something that's easily done, especially get the rear wheels on those green sort of carpety stuff on the outside of the corner, and he spun it around. He ended up clipping the wall on the inside of the track, but he's got going again. Well, it's stuck him down into 19th place though.
Yeah, you're just pulling away from people at the moment. I wonder if he will be no-stop in this race as well. We know that we've seen him do that. We've seen him go out strong before and just drop off more than what the others have as well. So right now, Ricardo, who, you know, really sort of come on the end of last season, didn't he? Did the last 2 or 3 races, was it? Really showed his pace and was sort of there. Or perhaps didn't quite have the consistency yet, obviously new to the car. And yeah, looking good again this season as well. Currently 1.7 seconds behind our leader. But yeah, doing a good job. Zoran Jonic just 0.9 behind Fluke. And Fluke is about 1.5 seconds behind Ricardo as well. So the front pack just sort of separating out a little bit, but they're still all well within range of each other at the moment. Just all sat outside that sort of dirty air more than anything.
We just saw David Baker concede a position to Justin Hop as well. Justin Hop down 9 places from where he started, so something must have gone wrong for him at some point.
Yeah, we were just talking about Justin exchanging positions a lot further up the field, and then all of a sudden just right down there. So yeah, big problems for him. But Hop is side by side here with who's that there?
It's Boya Casal, and he's passed him already.
Yeah, straight through, and Baker's going to follow him through as well. So, and actually Baker's got the best run of all. He's going to go past Justin round the outside as well. Justin's going to try and defend the inside. How confident is Dave on the brakes to go side by side through there? Has to sort of concede in the second part of the corner, but will get a slightly better run. Justin instantly defensive, cuts back across. But yeah, both drivers up a position. Baker couldn't quite get the second one, although had a good run. Ferenc Kern also made up a place, got past Toffoli there as well, down the straight while that was going on, so he's up to 12th place. And yeah, lapping pretty quick out there, and I think he'll definitely be looking to try and move into the top 10 if he can by the time this race is over. Lebatov closing in on the back of Opakak as well.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we had a decent sized field like we've got here today, and at the moment, even though the whole field is covered by about 35 seconds, but we've got some great little battles going on all over the place. You've got, I mean, for 15th place, 15th, 16th, and 17th, even 18th place is all covered by just over 2 seconds. And a little bit further up from them, Cleaver to Foley and Marco, they're close together as well. And then obviously, like I said, Opakak and Savitov, they nose to tail at the moment as well.
And what did you say? Did you say it was? I've lost what I was going to say there completely.
Well, it sounds like it's got something to do with track temperatures.
It was good in my head at the time, but it's totally gone. Yeah, no, gone. It's been a day like that, I tell you. I with my timings, getting all that wrong, giving you, worrying you there. Yeah, need more sleep, I think.
Yeah, I think a couple of us have been up watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans over the last day or so, and a couple of us might be a little bit sleep deprived. I mean, I think you mentioned the quick lap times that the guys are setting at the moment. Oliveira with the fastest lap time of 1 minute 20.7 at the moment. I think it's relating quite well to the 28-degree track temperature that we've got.
Yeah, I think I definitely can see him running a no-stop here as well. We did something very similar in a test race. I think it was 27 degrees and tyres were absolutely fine. So I'd be surprised if anyone does pit. Such a long pit stop here as well. 38 seconds the time loss is. So it's huge. So everybody will be trying to avoid that like the plague. So they won't be pushing the car too much. They don't want to lock up or anything like that. But right now, Ricciardo definitely falling off a little bit and just hasn't got the pace. Luke is starting to close in on him a little bit, and he's bringing Zoran with him as well. So I think these two are going to be wanting to get a move done a little bit, well, sooner than later, because if they carry on, I think Diego is just going to disappear into the distance.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty much already done that. 3.8 seconds up the road from Ricciardo. So, I mean, that's already a big sufficient enough so that he can is under no pressure. So just looking after the tires and making sure he hits his marks. Nice, easy, comfortable. It takes the pressure off, and the real pressure is going to be on second, third, and fourth at the moment. Like I say, they are just over Fluke, just half a second behind Ricciardo. He's going to surely have a little look on the next lap that has come over the start finish, and that's going to give Zoran the chance as well to close up.
Yeah, Zoran just, we've got a spin up to Foley around. Oh, and he spun trying to rejoin as well. Has he? No, he just corrected himself. Wasn't entirely sure where he was on the circuit there. Let's take a look back, see exactly what happened, because he lost a few places. I think he was just behind Baker, was he?
Ooh,
it looked like he was just behind Justin. He just overcooks it. Oh, don't want to hit that. That just shows you how lethal those sausage curbs are. And he just overcooked it in the first part, and instead of just sort of bailing out of it and going up over the inside, losing what, half a second or something like that with the slowdown, he tried to go over the curbing, and yeah, bit him hard.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of testing around Imola on the 4GT, like I said, in the Proto GT series, and even in that tank of a car, going over those sausage curbs is not advisable. So I can't imagine what it must have been like on Cleaver's steering wheel when he did that. He's gonna have to call the wife or the girlfriend and get a chiropractor on the other end of the phone line, because that's gonna hurt.
There's been a change of position for second place. It was Jamie Fluke making his way past. We're still on the replay right now, so we're just bringing you that overtake now. Fairly straightforward DRS overtake. It was Ricciardo made a mistake in the penultimate corner, really. Oh, Jamie just overshoots a little bit, but just make sure he finishes that move off. And yeah, that's how he moved himself up and into second place.
And it's that line that Ricciardo was running over the start-finish straight. That's where we've been seeing a lot of the rubber, discarded rubber, and and dust will gravel build up as the race has gone on.
Yeah,
So
it's a nice
we,
little addition to the sim, actually, isn't it? And I mean, there's been, I don't know if you've seen some of the oval guys been running around on the like these little short circuits just to bring the gravel and dust onto the circuit so they can go dirt racing. But that worked well for them. Whatever.
yeah, it's a lot of effort they put into that. I've seen the video where they spit it up a little bit, and it is amazing to see it happen and exactly where the dirt falls on the track as well. But yeah, I had 3 cars in front of me going over the start-finish straight, and I was trundling along on my little 4 GT, and all of a sudden there was just this kick up of dust and all kinds of particles and stuff, and yeah, it scared the hell out of me.
David Baker moves his way up and into 15th place, 1.1 second behind Justin Hopp. Ahead of them you've got Marco, and then you've got Rodriguez there as well in 12th place. They're starting to have a little battle too. I think it's quite a gap that they've got to Justin, about 7.5 seconds. Lorenz Kern has made his way up into 11th place, just runs a little bit wide there, but still trying to close in on the tail of Nicholas Rasmussen, see if he can get into the top 10. Luke still hasn't quite ditched Ricardo from the DRS zone, so Ricardo just sort of hanging on at the moment, using that DRS to keep with Jamie. A 121.1 for Fluke last lap. He's still 2.5 tenths slower than Diego Oliveira this time by, so Diego still pulling away. That gap's up to 5.8 seconds now.
And you can really see the DRS helping Ricardo as well, because Zoran has closed that gap. He was behind Ricardo by about 2.5 seconds before Fluke overtook him, and that gap's down to 1.4. But in the moment he's going to lose the DRS, Zoran is going to be right on top of him as well.
Sabatov having a little look on Opkak here as well. Oh, that's so close. Going through that fast uphill sort of left-hander that sweeps down as well. So massive undulation change through that corner. So actually it's a lot of fun to drive. You just sort of throw the car in there. I'm maybe hearing something. No, I just think that's people just hitting the chicane hard just from where the camera was. I don't see anyone around.
Oh, one thing that's just a couple of, or half a minute or so ago, Toffoli has blown the engine coming out of that tight chicane. Was it turns 11 and 12, and his day is done, I'm afraid. And yeah, those sausage curves that he hit might have done more damage than he thought it did.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was what I heard, but I don't think so. But yeah, it just brings it to a halt.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody blow an engine on this car. Not in iRacing anyway.
No, I don't think I've seen one blow either. Not, not just racing. So I guess he could have caused some actual damage. To the bottom of the car with hitting the sausage curves or something like that. It's possible. We certainly have seen that. I remember Marcus Caton did that in a was it a Pro Series race or a World Championship race, doing rather well, and then all of a sudden his engine blew out of nowhere. So I think it was just a bit of chassis damage or something like that that just caused the car to overheat. Or as Sabatov has a little moment, catches the inside curve a little bit too aggressively, loses a bit of ground to Opkak there. Luke is clear now of Ricardo, so he's totally focused on Diego ahead, and was actually quicker than Diego by about 0.2 of a second that lap. So we've still got about, what do we got? Still got just 29 laps of this race to go, so still a long way, and a couple of tenths of a second you're going to get back into contention. So this race isn't done and dusted for the win yet.
Yeah, and we're just looking at the lap times that the guys are sitting as they're coming through. A lot of them are still setting fastest lap times, and no drop off on the tires to speak of whatsoever.
Yeah, this is exactly what we had yesterday as well. Car just seemed to get better, and in the test race we did as well. So
yeah, I'm really gonna hope that somebody somewhere takes a chance and makes a pit stop, just for entertainment value, you know.
yeah, I mean, that will be quicker. That's the thing. So you know, I can see it happening.
Oh, there was a 42 laps, so yeah, they've still got a little.
38 seconds though. It's still too long. You know, everybody will try and avoid it. I think only unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if the track conditions were a little bit warmer, or if we had a second compound of tires.
Sorry, Conrad. We've got Marco right on the tail of Ferenc Kern here as well. He's dropped Rodriguez behind him, and now he's putting a lot of pressure on Ferenc. And Ferenc, I don't know if he made a mistake that lap. He had, because he's slower than he has been for quite some time. He's still closing in on Rasmussen, who was a 122.6. So he will try and get inside that DRS zone this lap, just to make sure he's not under too much pressure from Marco. Marco has dropped a little bit back through that infield section as well.
Yeah, you can see a bit of the dust kick up as they come through that chicane as well now, or just on the lead up to the chicane, up the hill. Now Ferenc Kern has had a barnstorming race so far. He's 28 seconds behind the leader, but he started dead last and moved himself up into 11th place. So he managed to avoid that little gaggle of cars coming together and on the opening lap, and has been making good progress.
Yeah, I mean, a top 10, you know, is quite on here as well. He's only a few seconds behind sort of Domingo in 9th, and then, you know, he's still lapping similar sort of pace, maybe fractionally quicker, not that last lap, than the likes of Opakak and Sabatov, who are battling as well. So who knows if they carry on at it? You know, there could be sort of a 7th or 8th place on the offing. Weathered the storm from Marco, and obviously has now got inside the DRS of Rasmussen as well. So the Gap SRT driver is under a bit of pressure. And talking about pressure, well, he just runs in very, very deep. Ferenc says, well, thank you very much for that, I'll take that. Marco going to try and follow him through in the chicane. Does that as well, gets very close to the back of Ferenc. Massive, massive wiggle on the way out of there. Somehow saves it. And Rasmussen going to take that place back, cuts his nose off in the downhill braking section for the penultimate corner. And yeah, so he's back up, and he should just about get the DRS. Rodriguez is dropping down the order. What's going on with Rodriguez?
Let's have a quick look.
Like he might have disappeared.
Yeah, he was just right behind these guys as they were fighting for that position after Rasmussen made that mistake.
Rasmussen loses the place there as Marco pushes himself back through, uses the DRS. So, yeah. Little mistakes there for Nicholas, really cost him.
Yeah, same as Marcus Jensen Rodriguez, as internet just decided to give up on him, and yeah, we've got another retiree through some technical issues.
I'm not sure what would be worse, you know, having 15, 16 laps of the race gone, then disconnecting, or like Marcus, where you get pole position and then you disconnect on turn 2.
I don't think there's a favourable or right answer for that one. I'd be having kittens either way.
For those watching on YouTube, hello, welcome, thank you. Obviously we're not on iRacing live today because we delayed the show somewhat. And yeah, I hadn't told them, so we will be back on there for next week. But yeah, got any questions? Haven't seen this before? You don't know what it's all about? Just yeah, drop us some questions in the chat. Up front, well, let's take a quick look at the times because the gap's come down somewhat. It's 4.089 seconds according to the timing screen at the moment. Gap to the lead, that was nearly 6 seconds, so yeah, Jamie's managed to bring it down 2 seconds. The last lap, I have to say, he was 3/10 slower, so was there a mistake somewhere from Diego that we haven't seen?
I can have a little look back for us just quickly. Frenskern was making, as we were saying, was making good progress. He decided to go and do some sausage curb hitting through that first chicane as well. And he's lost a couple of places once again.
Yeah, back down behind Rasmussen. Marco passed as well, so all that hard work to get into the top 10, well, we've got to do it all again.
Yeah, 2 laps ago, lap 15 for Diego was an appalling lap. It was 1 minute 23. Oh yeah, he's coming into turn 2. Just got on the brakes a little bit too late. Got the car sideways and instead of braving the sausage curbs. That's had a lot of attention today. He just ran it straight across the gravel, so that's where he would have lost a bit of time.
Yeah, into the pits then for Rasmussen. Rasmussen, oh, just about gets it stopped before the pit limiter or pit speed limiter area there. He was hammered on the brakes there. We'll see if he gets a penalty for that. But there you go, Conrad. There's your driver who, you know, is going to take the gamble with the pit stop.
And that's great because I wanted to talk about him a little bit. He's one of the guys that's changed teams in well, I say off season. It was only a week, but it was an off season. To the Gap SRT cars, we see a little bit of an update on their livery as well, and it's nice to see a regular attendance of the team in these splits again. They were a little bit absent last season. We saw
yeah, they had
one
a
or
lot
two
of drivers
appearances
last season in this, didn't they? So
yeah, season 1 there was quite a few guys, and then it just dropped off a little bit last season. But yeah, Nicholas Rasmussen just joined them, and new livery for him as well. And where is he come out? He's come out in 17th place. There's only 3 seconds behind Andrew Laurette. Andrew Laurette's last lap time was a 1 minute 23 flat, so we'll see what Rasmussen can do on the lighter fuel load, and you know, obviously the fresh tyres.
yeah, they just don't make tracks like this nowadays, do they? You know, look at all the undulation changes and things like that going through there. It just makes this so much more an enjoyable racetrack to drive. It's not just the layout, is it? It's everything. So great circuit. Imagine what it would have been like in its heyday as well, where it was so fast. Before obviously the tragic weekend. We don't need to go into detail about, but yeah, back then obviously this was so high speed, it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember driving this track or really well, playing on it, and an old simulator that was produced by Mr. Jeff Crammond, and that was one of the best tracks to drive on, and it's unfortunately since it got dropped by Formula One, it's just sort of almost disappeared into a memory of what it used to be. But yeah, great races between Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher back in the 2005 and 2006 around here, when Alonso was still with Renault, Schumacher still in the Ferrari.
You can't quite see from some of the shots that we've seen today is those curbs are actually very tall, and you know, yes, we've got some sausage curbs that are lethal, but some of the other curbs as well, especially when they run off wide and into the AstroTurf very high, and the car's bottoming out through there as well, so just running on the plank that's underneath there and slowing the cars up, and it can just make it a little bit skittish. And the Astro around there, iRacing actually done a good job of, unlike Monza, where you can run off wide coming out of the I want to say the Lesmos. You can really take the mick with them, and the AstroTurf seems almost as grippy as the asphalt, but around here it's not, and it'll bite you hard. All of a sudden you just get a whole chunk of wheel spin. So yeah, they've done a really good job in in this circuit. I mean, it looks fantastic, and in this evening lighting as well. Yeah, it looks pretty special.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. You can even just coming out of turn 11, that chicane, Variante Alta. You run wide there and get a bit of wheels on the AstroTurf. There's wheel spin there as well, and then you've got that curb that everybody loves to run over, coming out of turn 10, and it unsettles the car once you straddle that curve.
Watching Opakek and Sabatov, these guys have been separated by half a second all race long. Just looks like Sabatov just hasn't got enough to get by, unfortunately.
Yeah, how long have we got? We got just over 21 laps left in the race. Again, like we said so many times before, it's sort of the last 5 and 10 laps of the race when we're really going to see some of the guys starting to struggle with their tires and that kind of thing, where the racing's going to get really tasty. There's that curve there where Sabatov just got his rear wheels over coming out of there. I think is lethal. I mean, it doesn't settle the car, and you've got the inside on the wrong side of the track, inside of that corner. The track is really slippery as well, even though it looks like it's not asphalt. It looks more like it's a bit of concrete that they've laid there.
Stunning lap for our leader there as well. Can't see it, but I've seen it on the timing screen. 20.7, pulled away 9/10 of a second from Jamie that lap. So absolutely, flying out there right now. Fernando closing in on the back of Kevin Ellis Jr. So that positive sim racing, I think it is positive. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, he is. Just have to check the livery for a second. Closing in on the back, the TNT racer.
Alice Jr. is another guy. We saw, I can't remember whether we saw a lot of him in Season 1, but he was a regular feature in Season 2. And he's another guy that we've seen. Sort of started at the back of the grid, once he started doing these races, and look at that. He's qualified third today, currently running fifth. It's another guy that's improved immensely.
Oh, and I know that he has aspirations, to make it into the Pro Series, so I expect to see him all this season. He wants to do the Pro in Season 4, and he wants to qualify into the World Championship as well. So, he's joined a team that can certainly help him do that as well. Those guys have been sort of pushing that level for a long time, and it's a good move for Kevin, and hope it works out well. And we'll see him. We'll see him Season 4. Challenging for those sort of top 10 places, because that's where you want to need to be to get one of those. Well, there's only 10 World Championship licenses up for grabs next season, and then there's 10 Pro licenses, which I have to say, anybody thinking of the top 20, they're not going to be an awful lot of good until sort of later on in the season when the numbers drop down.
I'm just thinking, and he's like I say, he was a regular attendee last season, and obviously showing that it's going to be the same around this season. He's got to go into next season when those pro licenses are up for grabs with a bit of momentum, knows the car well, should know all the tracks that the series is going to well as, and definitely someone to keep an eye on. I fear for some of those guys that did Season 1 and then kind of disappeared through Season 2. If they don't start picking it up in this in Season 3 going into Season 4, it's going to be a great struggle for them.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about that as well. There's a lot of hype that goes on about the Season 1 guys being the quickest and things like that. And I know certainly when I went for Pro, that was definitely the case. We would talk, and I'd say, well, I think the Season 3 guys are quick, and all of the Season 2 guys were, no, you're not quick, and all this kind of stuff. But when it comes down to it, they haven't done any driving in the car, so we hit the Pro Series, and all of a sudden, the Season 1 guys are, looking second rate and under a lot of pressure, and it's not so straightforward after all. And I think that particular season, it was a couple of Season 3 guys who went on and were first and second in the Pro Series Championship. So don't underestimate these guys coming through a bit late, just because most of the tough competition starts out in the first season. It's all changed this year with the way the licenses work, and I think you need to be race sharp in this car. You can easily fall off the boil. I know I spoke to a few drivers that are returning this season. They're like just a couple of tenths off of people where they used to be sort of a couple of tenths in front. So it shifts very, very quickly.
I mean, I think it's great for us to see as well. Obviously, we've covered season 1, season 2, and we've just started season 3, and we notice how people get forward or how they improve as the series and the season goes on. I think we get a really good idea of what people are going to be doing once push comes to shove and they've got to start competing for those pro licenses.
Rasmussen, obviously after his pits, not really lighting the timing screen up, Conrad. 22.0 last lap. It's nothing. I mean, still, second slower than our leader. I really honestly expected to see him to be quicker. It just goes to show that lack of tyre wear is making it very difficult to make any advantage, and the pit stops just killed him, and he's almost a lap down. So he's going to have to be careful here, because he's going to drop down behind our leader before long.
Yeah, he set his fastest lap not long after he came out of the pits, lap 20, so about 4 laps ago. And currently, I think a lot of his troubles is he seems to be stuck behind Matteo. He's going to have a run now.
Right. He just breezes right past there, no problem. DRS in full operation. It did. Well, I have to say, it did work rather well yesterday when we got the run. Even drivers or cars that were set up, to be a little bit quicker were sort of cannon fodder down there.
We've got Sabatov has passed Opakak as well. Just trying to see where that overtake took place.
Must have been the chicane. He's going to be under a bit of pressure here. I wonder if Opakak's going to go straight back by. DRS is open, he's getting close. Sabatov's going to have to go defensive. Leaves it a little bit late, but still covers it off. Now Opakak can't get by, so finally Sabatov up and into 7th place.
That whole section from start to finish into turn one's really just a bend, and the first real corner you've got is turn 2 into that first chicane. And that's a stretch of road that makes me really nervous when I see a few cars coming close to each other. I captured a bit of footage from a Proto GT race earlier in the week where a field of 10 HPDs ran side by side through there down into the first chicane. One of them got together at the front with another, and the only car that escaped all of that was the leading car. 9 other damaged HPDs and a few GT ones as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. On board there with Sabatov, just missed the inside curve going through the chicane. Didn't really slow him down too much, just missed the ideal line. Pulling away from Opakak pretty quickly, just not quite cleared the DRS in that one lap. He'll want to push again this next lap to make sure he does just that. The lead now up to 6.5 seconds. Jamie Fluke pulling away from Ricciardo, not that last lap, that said, but he is still up to sort of 5.6 seconds. So, but got nothing for Diego, unfortunately. I was hoping we were going to have a little race on our hands, but yeah, it's not panned out that way.
Yeah, Diego had a really strong finish to last season. Obviously, just carrying that into this season as well. In regards to the Opakak fight, he's got to be careful at the moment because he's got Marco not too far behind him. That gap is under a second between.
Marco's flying out there as well. Really, really good pace as well. A 121.1 last time by. You look at all the drivers around him; they're all in the 122s. Yeah, including Domingo behind him. Ferenc Kern is a little bit quicker, sort of mid 121s. So both of those drivers are catching up, and Marco, yeah, coming up really, really strong actually.
Yeah, my dark horse, Nicholas Rasmussen, he's just involved in a little bit of a battle as well with Francesco Fioroni at the moment. He was in front of him, lost that place as they went over the start-finish line.
Opakak on Sabatov. Anything? Oh, I thought he was going to try and sneak around the outside for a minute, but doesn't happen. Marco's right there.
Yeah,
You get a shot of the two liveries here. Are they teammates? Just trying to see if they've got the same sponsors on.
who's that?
No, they're not. Totally different. Marco and Dalo there.
Yeah, no, two completely looking different cars.
Yep.
Manuel Domingo, on the other hand.
That was close. And I think that's what you were saying about it being lethal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so easy just to get comfortable coming out of that corner, and I mean, he didn't even get close to the curb there on the exit of the corner. Just trying to see if he maybe clipped it on the apex as he was coming. Yeah, he clipped the apex, and that just sent the back end into a bit of a pogo jump, and yeah. Squeaky bum time.
Ricardo had a bad lap that last one as well, 123.7, and Zoran Jonic up, well, not up in fourth, sorry, who was in fourth and still is. He's only 1 second behind now, so be pushing very hard to see if he can make it into. Oh, I'm watching a replay. Just disappeared. Oh no, there's Ricardo. That's why.
Oh,
What's
here
the
comes the
problem
gaggle.
there as Fernando goes past as well. Is it slow down or something for Ricardo? What's going on?
Oh yeah, he's lost a lot of time, hasn't he?
Yeah, major issues.
Oh, it was on the. Yeah, he's hit the wall. And trying to see where that was. Yeah, through turn 8 after the hairpin. Ran wide, got it onto the gravel, and he didn't really hit the wall, sort of just glanced it. I think he got away with it, but it did cost him a lot of time.
And was that a lap ago, was it?
Yeah, lap 29.
Yeah, okay. Well, that promotes Zoran up to third and Fernando into fourth. This battle, this Opakak and Sabatov battle continues. They're side by side, coming out of the first sector. Opakak gets the place back, going through, and Marco having a look around the outside of Sabatov. Wants a good run here as well. Do love that livery on his car. Looks very nice indeed. Oh, he's got a great run out of the hairpin. He's going to look into the left-hander. Compromised his entry a little bit, but gets it done. Sabatov just drops 2 places in 2 sectors.
Yeah, it just looks like Sabatov is starting to struggle a little bit as we come up. Got just over 12 laps left, and it's around about this time where you're gonna see the people who can handle the drop of the tires a little bit better. We see a lot of the midfield guys are no longer lapping 21s. It's all into low to mid 1 minute 22s, and some of the other guys carrying damage as the lap down is even slower than that.
Problem for Fluke, a 1:30 lap time that one by. So what happened? Where did it happen? Just having a little look now on a replay, see if we can see it. Anything going through the chicane? Oh, he loses it coming out of the chicane. He gets absolutely revving the nuts off the car just to stop the rear wing backing into the Armco. Somehow manages to do that. So yeah, rejoins 1.8 seconds ahead of Jonic, but yeah, that pretty much has freed up now. Oliveira is under no pressure whatsoever for this race, can just bring it home. Yeah, Sunday afternoon drive style.
Yeah, I'm sure Fluke saw had flashbacks of Suzuka when he spun the car there. At least this time he managed to keep it out of the wall, had the presence of mind to keep his foot in it, to keep the back end out of the wall. But he had another moment getting into the braking zone for turn 14, just going a little bit sideways after that spin. I mean, he must have. Can't imagine that you can overcook the tires that much by spinning the tires up on the grass, but
No,
I
you
mean,
would have thought so.
iRacing physics, you never know.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is true. Let's just take stock where everyone is right now. So Oliveira leads by 14.7 seconds. Jamie Fluke has got 2.1 seconds on Zoran. Fernando is in 4th place. 3.5 seconds back from Zoran. Ricardo, a further 2.8 from him after his issues a couple of laps back. Kevin Ellis Jr. is about 8 seconds behind him. Opakek 3.5 further from him. And then, of course, you've got tucked up behind him right now, Marco and Manuel Domingo is in 10th place, 1.4 seconds ahead of Ferenc Kern, and he is 9.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. It's Dave Baker, Nicholas Rasmussen, Matteo in 15th. And we've got, Borjan, is it? Sorry, in 16th, and then Rodriguez in 17th. So everybody else has retired.
Yeah, Rodriguez and Casal just running a lap down as well. Just having a look as we come into the last 10 laps of the race. Fernando Guerrero, currently running in 4th place, is slowly but surely starting to catch 3rd place Zoran Jonic as well.
Yeah, 3 seconds, and seems to have held onto his tyres a bit better than everybody else, so maybe an opportunity for him. Baker recovering from a spin. Where is that one? Oh, he's having a mare as well. He'll hate me for showing that as well. But
It's again.
that's going to be on your favourite curb.
Yeah, turn 10.
Obviously, tyres just getting a bit old. I mean, the key with that is you can take a bit of that curb, but you've got to come off of it pointing absolutely straight. And I'll tell you what, he lost it before he even hit that curb. So he didn't even get to it.
Yeah, I think it's just the as they clip the apex of the corner before. And I've seen a few cars, I mean, not even properly getting onto the curb. You see a few cars going over, they're just bouncing around a little bit. And they're still bouncing as they're trying to get onto the gas. And it's something, I don't know, it's these cars with this immense amount of torque that seems to do it the most. The HPD is another one I've seen where cars regularly uses it in exactly the same fashion. Whereas your GT cars seem a lot more settled coming around there.
Yeah, perhaps a combination of the the G's in the corner with the car compressing down as the it undulates through there. And like you say, the torque just all of a sudden just frees it up as we're looking at Marco trying to get by Dado here for 7th place. Sabatov all of a sudden dropped back 1.9 seconds. He was right on their tail, just a few corners back, so not sure what happened to him. Ferenc Kern has made his way past Domingo. Domingo made a mistake the last lap, 127, so gift that position to Ferenc. So back into the top 10 from the back of the grid. Job well done. 9 laps to go. You never know if there's a bit of coming together. Oh, I tell you who has just spun as well. It's Kevin Ellis Jr. Same corner, just about gets out of the way before this pack comes screaming through. He's way down into 9th place now.
Wow, he lost it under braking.
Look at that back, because it seems to be the corner that everybody's really struggling with. So this time obviously on entry. Just take a look as he comes through the downhill. Oh yeah, just got a little loose. Back end just come around on the braking. And yeah, just about gets the car out of the way in time.
Again, hopping over those black and white sausage curbs. It's not going to do the car any favors.
Well, he's on the tail of Sabatov now. He'll want to try and get a couple of these places back. I mean, if he can see the card, he's got 8 laps to go. He was running quicker than these guys, so he's got every potential to get on back by. Good to see him do that as well. Talking him up earlier on. Isn't it always the way? Bit of commentary cursing going on there, I think.
Yeah, it seems to happen a lot these days, especially in this series with me as well.
Yeah, well,
really
I think
happy
the best
with
one to date was when we were talking about, oh, yeah, look at that, a mistake in the same place again. So, yeah, major issues there. Need some brake bias adjustments on that, I would dare say. But yeah, the one that stands in my mind, his tyres are shot as well now. Look at that coming out of there. It's going to be tough for him. But yeah, Massimiliano Ficara at Montreal, just as we switched to him, he's doing a great job, consistent driving. He's working his way up the field nicely. Bang!
Yeah, what made that worse is we were going on about that for quite some time as well. and then, yeah, unfortunately the wall won. But I mean, even for Ellis Jr., if he doesn't make up any more places walking away from here with the 9th place, will still be a good result.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, he's not going to.
Where was it? Let's have a look.
Just coming out of turn 3, turn 4. Yeah, coming out of turn 4 on the run down to turn 5, and that was the end of that. God just sort of twitched, and back end came around and then tried to correct it, and he ended up in that most flame as well.
That is the race, and actually ended up getting disqualified, I think it was, so...
Yeah, I don't think his car would have been much use after that impact anyway.
Oh, he hit that pretty hard.
So that might be another way to look at the iRacing incident limit. Instead of penalizing you, it just helps you to put you out of your misery when it all gets a little bit too much. Jamie Fluke seems to have recovered quite well after his troubles a little bit earlier on. He's opened that gap up to Zoran Jonic to just under 4 seconds.
Yep.
Guerrero was...
Still got nothing for Oliveira. Oliveira's times have held pretty consistent all race long. 121.1 last time by, so yeah, super consistent. Not quite doing his 20s like he was earlier on, but we're only talking a couple of tenths drop off. Nothing major. I don't know if that's the circuit or just the fact that it's the late afternoon, but just yeah, the tyres seem just to hold on a lot better around here than they have done anywhere else, and it's quite even tyre wear all over the fronts and the rears as well. So maybe that's been the difference. It's not a front or rear limited circuit. It's kind of just even wear all over.
I think the track feels like it's generally pretty easy on the tires. Obviously, we were running the Proto GT series in much warmer track conditions. I think we were generally between 43 and 47 degrees, and even then, obviously, you had the lack of grip, but the tires still held on for an entire race, which is a 75-minute race. Obviously, different cars where they use the tires in different ways, but you would generally think somewhere between a 42-lap race or a 75-minute race, whatever car you're driving, it might need tires. And we've got Marco just going through one of those first 2 chicanes as well, just taking a bit of a jump over the sausage curbs. See some sparks coming out from underneath the car. Sounds like an impact, and
just hearing from Kevin there as well. Wasn't a disqualification, just mash that Alt F4 button. So that'll do it. Yeah, suffering with the rears massively. Just killed him. I think it just becomes a bit of a, once you have 1 or 2 little incidents, there's no recovering the tyres, is there? That's the thing. It just compounds the problem. It gets worse and worse and worse, and and then you're just you're at the point where you've either got to have like a really slow lap to cool them down again, or actually pit. And yeah, in the end, it bit Kev there.
I think it's such a unique series as well, with the car and pro license being up for grabs at some point, and the people who drive these cars in this series week in and week out do invest a lot of time into setting up the car, getting familiar with the car, and trying to do well in these races. And when one little thing starts going wrong, you try and rectify it, and it leads to another one. It's got a real snowball effect, and it must be really frustrating when you have races like this, when you started so well and then it just all goes wrong.
Yeah, and the way we are now with the tyres and everything else like that, it's all about making them last, really. That's what the main objective is, getting the traction. Not trying to generate too much heat, and yeah, it seems certainly some teams have mastered it out there, and others are on their way to doing that, and some still struggling. We're watching Justin. He's having a little look on the back of Domingo. Domingo seems to be struggling somewhat, running sort of high 22s. He's dropped back quite considerably in the last few laps. Justin got a great run. He's going to have a look into the chicane. No, he thinks twice. So my opinion is be patient. Close enough to get a DRS assisted pass. As long as he can stay close here. Oh, late on the brakes as well. Perhaps overshot it a fraction. Uses all the Astro on the outside. Still going to be close enough to get it done though. Load of ERS coming out of the corner for both drivers, I have no doubt. Pop open that flap, he does indeed. You can just see DRS doing its work. Domingo doesn't even defend the inside. Not much point. We only just creeps past does Justin.
Justin's lost a few places from the start as well. He made quite a lot of inroads earlier on. He seemed to have died down a little bit, just made up that place. Our front wing on his car seen better days as well.
Low lap for Opakak that last time by. Marco clear of him now by 4 seconds, so not able to quite hold on to that. Marco has shown good consistent pace all through this race. He had some issues which put him way down at the start as well. Just slowly been working his way up. Bit of good drive. It's interesting, he's lapping very similar sort of times to what Ferenz was as well, so, or is. And you have to think Ferenz was just ahead of Marco before he made his little mistake, so had he not done that, could have been could have been that sort of 6th, 7th place, like we said, was perhaps on the cards for him.
Maybe something just to quickly keep an eye on. We've got Zoran Jonic, and that gap to Fernando behind him, Fernando Guerrero, has shrunk. It's under a second and a half. Got about a lap and a half left. Fernando Guerrero suffering with some terrible connection issues, unfortunately. Zon is really struggling coming through that chicane. A little bit of a lock-up. Puff of smoke as well. Again, losing another 2/10s coming through there. It's going to make for an interesting final lap, especially if he's got issues coming through these final 2 corners, and Guerrero can close that gap to under a second, which he's done. Is he going to have the DRS? I'm not sure where the detection zone is.
Yeah, Fernando last lap was a 1:21.5. This lap just completed as a 1:21.7. You're right. His connection is absolutely shocking, which is why we've barely shown him. He's had 29 seconds of airtime all race, but you can see why, because we couldn't exactly focus on him. So even if he does catch up to Zoran, it's kind of going to be like a bit of a peekaboo kind of overtake maneuver, isn't it? It's like, where am I? There I am.
Sorry, we've got Marcos in the pits. Something must have gone wrong for him somewhere.
Who, sorry?
Marco, 6th place.
Oh God!
It's not in 6th place no longer.
Fuel?
Just trying to.
Not
to
that
follow.
you can refuel.
There's no clear mistake anywhere on the lap where it came in.
He just
He had a
drove
bit of a
through, didn't he?
wiggle coming out of the last corner.
If we can quickly see what this is about before jumping to our leader, because he's going to be coming across the line any minute now. He just drove straight through, Conrad.
Well, that's very weird.
Oh well, wherever is our leader? He's got to be really close. He is really close. He's crossed the finish line already, Conrad. We missed him.
Oh, it's his fault for being quick and consistent. Is a well-deserved win. Very consistent drive, start to finish from Diego Oliveira, and yeah, taking a very good win over Jamie Fluke, who came through in second. Zoran Janic managed to keep hold of third place, with Fernando not too far behind him. But it was nice. It's nice to see these cars finally getting a run out on the track, and there was some really good battles going on.
Ah, it's a good point that Kevin pointed out in the chat, that he might have got a slowdown penalty or something like that and didn't serve it quick enough, so got himself a drive-through or something like that on the last lap, which would be, that's what you call a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. As far as I knew, how iRacing doesn't dish out drive-throughs. Stop and goes, yes. And time penalties.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and he just drove straight through, didn't he? So, yeah, weird one. Very weird indeed. Maybe you can let us know on the in the forum or something like that, so we can let everyone know for next week exactly why he did that. Because yeah, give some positions to everybody else. Talking about positions, Conrad, are you able to take us through the final standings?
Yeah, we've got Diego Oliveira with starting in second place, eventually finishing first with a very consistent drive. Second place was Jamie Fluke, Zoran Janic in third, and Fernando Guerrero in fourth place. Ricardo Ozoko in fifth, with Dado Opakak in sixth place. Ruslan Sabatov in seventh, Ferenc Kern in eighth, after starting in dead last place. And ninth place was Manuel Domingo and Justin Harper rounds up the top 10. Mark in 11th, Nicholas Rasmussen, one of the only person to have pitted really for tyres, came home in 12th place. David Baker in 13th, Matteo Castellani in 14th. Boya Casal in 16th place, Juan Rodriguez in Boya was in 15th, Juan in 16th, and we had Kevin Ellis Jr. in 17th place. 17th, from 17th onwards, was all retirees. That includes Kevin Ellis Jr., Francesco Fioroni, Andrew Lorette, Foley, and Marcus Jensen as well.
Seemed like Overlay was having a bit of a moment as well and couldn't quite get those final results right. So yeah, go with what Conrad said. That'll be off the official listings. So yeah, weird. It just got all confused with that drive-through or whatever it was that went on there. So right, Conrad. I mean, I don't know about you, but I hope we get a return to where it's a split strategy for the next round, because it makes it all the more exciting. We don't really know what's going on. That was kind of the drivers just sort of pulled away and did their thing, and good fighting in the mid pack, and drivers fought their way through. But yeah, I much prefer those split strategy races.
Yeah, I think today was showed what an effect the maybe the late afternoon and the cooler track temperatures has on the tires. Not that I say we shouldn't do it. Somebody I think made a point in the forums to say, when does Formula One ever run in late afternoon? Well, just go watch this afternoon's real life Formula One. That was in the late afternoon.
Yeah.
So, and the tires in that race held on quite a while as well. So yeah, it'll be. But again, this can a race like this, we can make a case for a second tire compound from iRacing.
We need a second tyre compound from iRacing, just to spice it up, and we need to run both as well. It's in Codemasters. Come on, let's get it in there.
Oh, you can't swear like that.
I know. How did I go there? Why did I go there? But if they could do it, come on. That's a rubbish old game. And yep, they have multiple tyres. So come on, let's have it. We'll we got to put a big old petition in the forum or something like that and saying that we need it. These are the things we need. Get everyone who's in favour to sign it so we can get some development done. We don't see an awful lot of development done on this sort of series, do we? Most of it's the last little while has all been focused around sort of GT racing with the amount of new cars coming and the driver swaps and all that kind of stuff. Where our sort of single seater series have pretty much stayed stagnant for some time now, hasn't it? It's kind of like there's your race, here's your fuel. If you need to refuel or whatever you can do, or pit, you can. They bought the new car in, okay, but the races are still much the same from about 5 years ago now. So it's we need something to spice it up, I think.
Yeah, I think the community has done a lot to sort of introduce their own rules into the official series with limited fuel tanks and that kind of thing. Obviously, you can't do it in this because you can't refuel in the Formula One car. But I mean, today's race was a perfect example of where two tire compounds and strategy would have come in really handy just to for entertainment's sake, really. And from a driver's point of view, that's a guy that's out there might be struggling. Take the chance, come in early for a different set of tires, and get out there and try and make a difference to his own day.
All right, thanks, Conrad. Been a pleasure as always. Thank you, everybody who tuned in to watch it live, and those that will watch it afterwards as well. Like I say, we weren't on iRacing Live this week, but we will be back next week once we move back to the usual scheduled time. I think the Yellow Banner might have even been on at the 12 GMT race, but we didn't let them know that we were shifting it back, so everybody would have just got a whole load of nothing. Right, thank you, everybody. Where are we next week? I think COTA, isn't it? The return of Circuit of the Americas?
Well, if we are, I can quickly have a look. I haven't even checked the whole schedule for the season.
I've got the schedule just loading up now. It is Circuit of the Americas, 38 laps. So we had some pretty big curbs around here today. We're going to have some pretty big ones when we go back to that circuit as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very slippy track and. Do you know what? That's scheduled for a late afternoon race as well. So, going to be a lot of grip out there, and I dare say it'll probably be a straight-on sprint race once again. So, let's look forward to that one. But thank you, everybody. Like I said, tuned in live, watched it back. Alex Simpson, Conrad Venter for round 1 of 2016 Season 3 iRacing Grand Prix Series here at Imola. Diego Oliveira took victory from Jamie Fluke, and Zoran Jonic will be back in a week's time at Circuit of the Americas.